Vincent, stop being so needy lately. You're suffocating me with all this. Let's reconnect. Bullshit. Not everything is about you and your feelings. Those were the last words my wife said to me before she walked out of Marcello's 3 months ago, leaving me sitting alone with 2 plates of untouched pasta and a marriage counseling appointment she refused to attend. I'm Vincent, Paul, and I'm about to serve my cheating wife divorce papers she never saw coming. Please, before we continue, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's 6:47 a.m. I've been sitting on this porch since 5:30, watching the sun rise over a house that's no longer hers. My coffee's gone cold, but I haven't moved. Behind me, 11 suitcases line the driveway. Every piece of clothing, every shoe, every reminder that she once lived here, itemized and packed with the same precision I use to design buildings. That's what I do. I'm an architect. I build things meant to last. Turns out I should have approached my marriage with the same scrutiny I apply to load-bearing walls. The rideshare pulls up. I recognize the Toyota Camry from the tracker app on my phone, the same app that's been documenting her every hotel visit for the past 4 months. She steps out, and I notice everything. The wrinkled dress from last night, the smeared mascara, the hickey on her neck she tried to cover with foundation. She's texting someone, smiling, probably Dylan telling her what an amazing night they had. She doesn't see me yet. She's fumbling for her house keys, the same keys that stopped working at 11 p.m. last night when Sam the locksmith installed new deadbolts. I paid him $500 cash to make sure my wife became a stranger to her own front door. Now she's trying the key. Once, twice, 10 times. Her face shifts from confusion to panic. And that's when she finally looks up and sees me sitting here in my best suit, holding a manila envelope that's about to destroy her world. Vincent. Her voice cracks. Baby, what's going on? My key won't work. I take a slow sip of cold coffee, let the silence stretch between us like the 4 months of lies I've been swallowing. The locks were changed at 11 p.m. last night, Janet, while you were at the Grandview Hotel, room 847, with Dylan. Her face drains of color. All of it. She looks like she might vomit, right there on the driveway we bought together. The driveway I pressure-washed every spring while she was working late at hotels across town. I slide a photograph across the porch railing. Her and Dylan kissing in the hotel lobby. Timestamp reading 8:43 p.m. My private investigator earned every penny of his $5,000 fee. How did you... She starts, but I cut her off because I've been practicing this moment in my head for 16 weeks. How long have I known? I stand up, and she actually flinches. Good. She should. 4 months, Janet. I've known about your affair for 4 months. Every hotel visit. Every deleted text you thought was gone forever. Every lie about spin class and work retreats and team-building exercises. She's shaking now, and part of me, the part that still remembers falling in love with her 8 years ago at that restaurant where I was working 3 jobs to pay for grad school, wants to comfort her. But that part of me died at 3:47 p.m. on a Tuesday 4 months ago, when I sat in my car, watching her walk out of a hotel with another man's arm around her waist. Vincent, please let me explain. Explain what? My voice is ice. I've been practicing that too. Explain the 637 text messages I recovered from your cloud backup. Explain the $18,000 you spent on hotel rooms using our joint credit card. Or maybe you want to explain why you refused marriage counseling 3 months ago because you were too busy, but somehow found time for 47 hotel visits. A car door opens behind her. Lauren steps out, my best friend since college, now my attorney. Next to him is Rebecca, professional process server, clipboard in hand. Janet's eyes go wide. This is Rebecca. I say, she's here to serve you divorce papers. I'd invite you inside, but it's not your house anymore. I see it in her eyes. The moment she realizes this isn't a fight we're going to work through, this is the end. And suddenly I'm back at Bernardi's restaurant. 8 years ago, 26 years old, and exhausted from pulling a double shift while studying for my architecture licensing exam. She walked in wearing this blue dress that matched her eyes, sitting across from some finance bro, who spent the entire date on his phone, closing deals while she stared at the menu pretending not to be hurt. I remember watching her from behind the bar, thinking she deserved better. When her date left her with a bill and her car got declined, she'd just moved to the city, didn't have credit established yet. I covered it with my tip money. $450 I couldn't afford, but something about her made me do it anyway. "How will I pay you back?" she'd asked, and I'd said something stupid and romantic about helping me brand my future architecture firm. When I made it big, she'd laughed, really laughed, and asked for my number. 3 months later, we were dating. 2 years after that, I proposed with a ring I'd saved 18 months to buy. I gave her everything. I built a business worth $8 million and made sure she wanted for nothing. I came home every night. I remembered anniversaries. I cooked her favorite meals. I loved her the way my father loved my mother. Completely, faithfully, forever. And somewhere along the way, she stopped seeing me. I became furniture in my own house, a checkbook with a heartbeat. The man who paid for the life she used to betray him. "Vincent, I never meant to hurt you," she's saying now, and I almost laugh because the audacity is breathtaking. "You didn't mean to?" I pull out my phone, scroll to a screenshot. February 14th, Janet. Valentine's Day. You texted Dylan. "I wish I was with you instead of pretending to celebrate with Vincent." You were sitting across from me at dinner when you sent that. She has nothing to say to that. Rebecca hands her the envelope. Janet's hands are shaking so badly she can barely open it. I watch her eyes scan the first page, then the second, then she's flipping through frantically like maybe the words will change if she reads them fast enough. Petition for dissolution of marriage. Grounds. Adultery. Evidence. 47 pages attached. Prenuptial agreement. Enforced. Division of assets. $0 to respondent. "Zero," she whispers. "Vincent, you can't." "I can, and I did. Remember the prenup you signed 7 years ago? The one you called stupid and unromantic? Page 7, Section 3, Adultery Clause. You signed away everything the day you said I do. Lawrence steps forward, always a professional. "Mrs. Paul, for the prenuptial agreement you entered into voluntarily on June 15th, any proven infidelity results in forfeiture of all marital assets. Mr. Paul had provided substantial evidence of ongoing adultery spanning 4 months. The agreement is ironclad." She's crying now, mascara running down her face, and I feel nothing. I felt everything 4 months ago. I felt it when I found the text messages on her iPad while she was in the shower. I felt it when I installed the GPS tracker on her car, hands shaking, praying I was wrong. I felt when I sat outside that hotel at 2 in the afternoon, watching her meet Dylan for what she told me was a client lunch. I felt everything when I came home early on our 7th anniversary. Spent 3 hours cooking her favorite meal. Seared salmon with lemon butter, asparagus, the chocolate souffle she loved. Only to have her stumble in at 2:14 a.m. smelling like cologne I don't wear, apologizing that she completely forgot while I sat alone with cold food and dying candles. I felt it all then. Now there's nothing left. "Your belongings are in those suitcases," I say, pointing to the driveway. Itemized lists inside each one. You have 10 minutes to call a ride before I call the police for trespassing. "Vincent, please, where am I supposed to go?" You should have thought about that before you spend the night with him. She's on the curb now, surrounded by suitcases, sobbing into her phone. I go inside, close the door, and lean against it. The house is so quiet. I changed all the passwords last night. Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, even the Ring doorbell, so she can't see inside anymore. I transferred every penny from our joint account to my individual account at 8:47 p.m. while she was posting Instagram stories, pretending to be at a company retreat. $124,000 moved in 3 clicks. People might think I'm cruel. Let them. They didn't watch their wife check her phone and smile at text messages she wouldn't show them. They didn't feel their stomach drop when they borrowed her iPad to look up a recipe and found months of "I love yous" she hadn't said to them in over a year. It was 5 months ago, a Saturday morning. She was in the shower. Her iPad was on the kitchen counter, unlocked. iMessages open to a contact saved as D with a briefcase emoji. I'd been making pancakes, her favorite. Try to recapture something we'd lost without knowing exactly when we'd lost it. I should have closed the iPad. Should have respected her privacy. But something in my gut screamed at me to look, so I did. Last night was incredible. I can't stop thinking about you. That was Dylan. Me neither. He's working late again Tuesday. Want to meet? That was my wife. Your place? Dylan again. God, no. The usual hotel. I'll tell him I'm at spin class. There were hundreds more. Pictures I couldn't bring myself to open. Plans. Lies. A whole relationship built in the spaces between her marriage vows. I screenshot everything, sent it to my email, deleted the sent message, and put the iPad back exactly where I found it. When she came out of the bathroom in a towel, smiling, asking what I was making, I said, "Pancakes, your favorite," and kissed her forehead like everything was fine. That's when I called Lawrence and asked what my options were. The prenup. Janet's probably reading it right now. That document she barely glanced at 7 years ago, trying to find a loophole that doesn't exist. Lawrence spent 3 weeks crafting it with 2 other attorneys, making sure every comma was litigation-proof. I hadn't wanted a prenup. I was 27, stupidly in love, building a business with a $750,000 investment from Lawrence's family trust. Marriage was supposed to be forever. Prenups felt cynical, like planning for failure before you'd even started. But Lawrence pulled me aside at my bachelor party, scotch in hand, and said something I'll never forget. "Brother, I love Janet. Everyone does. But you're about to have real money, and you need to protect yourself. This isn't about trust. It's about being smart." When I brought it up to Janet that night, she lost it, threw the ring box at me, asked if I thought she was a gold digger, said her parents didn't need a prenup, so why should we? We fought for hours. She cried. I almost backed down because I hated seeing her hurt. Then Lawrence restructured it, made it look like the investment firm required it, not me. "Tell her it's out of your hands," he'd said. "Tell her it's a condition of the funding." So I lied to protect her feelings. Ironic. She signed at the lawyer's office, barely reading past page 2, rolling her eyes and muttering about how unromantic the whole thing was. She had no idea that on page 7, Section 3, we had included an adultery clause that would protect everything I built if she ever decided our vows didn't matter. "This is so stupid," she'd said, signing her name with an annoyed flourish. "Like we're ever getting divorced." Lawrence kept a straight face. I nodded sympathetically, and we both walked out of that office knowing I was protected if the worst ever happened. The worst happened. 3 months ago, I gave her one last chance. One final opportunity to choose us over him. Even though I already knew about the affair, already had the evidence, already had Lawrence drafting papers. I made a reservation at Marcello's, the Italian place where I proposed, where we used to go every anniversary before she got too busy with work. I wore the blue shirt she once said was her favorite. I ordered the wine she loved. I took her hand across the table. "Janet, when's the last time we really talked? Like, really connected?" She pulled her hand away, checked her phone. Dylan was probably texting her. "Vincent, I'm exhausted. Can we not do the heavy stuff tonight?" I made an appointment with a marriage counselor. I said, the words catching in my throat, Dr. Patricia Hollis. She specializes in helping couples reconnect. First session is next Tuesday at 4. The look on her face, I'll never forget it. Annoyance, not concern, not interest, not even curiosity. Just pure annoyance that I was adding something to her schedule. A therapist? "Vincent, we don't need a therapist. You're being dramatic. I feel like I'm losing you. Oh my God, you're so needy lately." She stood up, grabbing her purse. Every marriage has rough patches. I have a huge campaign at work. I'm stressed, and now you want to add therapy appointments? I don't have time for this. So you won't go? I have an early meeting tomorrow. I need to get some sleep. She walked out, left me sitting there with 2 untouched entrees and a $300 bottle of wine I'd ordered to celebrate what I hoped would be our fresh start. The waiter approached carefully, asked if I wanted boxes for food. "No," I said quietly. "There's nothing left to save. I paid the bill, left $100 tip for witnessing my humiliation, and sat in my car in the parking lot for 20 minutes. Then I texted Lawrence. She made her choice. Start the paperwork. Last night was supposed to be her team-building retreat. Company paid hotel, she said. Networking opportunity, she said. Back tomorrow morning, she said, adding a heart emoji like that made the lie okay. At 7:30 p.m., I watched her car pull out of our driveway. The tracker on my phone showed her heading downtown, but not toward any corporate hotel. She stopped at Dylan's apartment first. I'd had his address for months. Probably to change into something that wasn't appropriate for actual team building. By 8:45 p.m., the tracker showed the Grandview Hotel. $950 a night. Dylan charged it to his credit card, trying to impress her, my private investigator, stationed in the lobby, sent me photos, them checking in, her laughing at something he said, his hand on her lower back in a way that made my chest physically hurt even though I'd been expecting it. I didn't drive there this time. The first few times, I'd torture myself by watching from my car, seeing them disappear into hotels together, documenting everything for the divorce. But last night, I stayed home and did something else. I called Lawrence. Then I called Sam the locksmith. Then I called Tyler, a moving specialist who asked no questions when I explained what I needed. By 9 p.m., they were all at my house. Sam changed every lock, front door, back door, garage, gate. New deadbolts, new keys, $500 cash. Lawrence brought the divorce papers, freshly printed and notarized. Tyler helped me pack everything she owned. Every dress, every pair of shoes, every piece of jewelry. Her toiletries from the bathroom, her books from the shelf, her yoga mat from the garage. Everything that proved she'd ever lived here, packed systematically into 11 suitcases with itemized lists taped to each one. At 10:30 p.m., I logged into our bank accounts and transferred $124,000 from joint savings to my individual account. Legal per the prenup. Then I remove her as an authorized user on all 4 credit cards. By 11:15 p.m., I was changing passwords. Netflix asked if I was sure I wanted to remove a profile. Janet's profile with all her saved shows and recommendations. I clicked yes without hesitation. Hulu, same thing. Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Spotify, where she'd made playlists with titles like Missing You that I now realize were probably about Dylan. The Ring doorbell was harder. That meant she wouldn't be able to see who came to the door anymore. Wouldn't be able to unlock it remotely if she somehow convinced me to let her back in. I changed that password at 11:47 p.m. while she was probably in bed with him at the Grandview. Tyler found a red lingerie set in her drawer, tag still attached. She bought it last week. I know because the credit card statement showed a charge at an expensive boutique for $240. 2 nights before she bought it, I tried to initiate intimacy, and she'd said she was too tired, had a headache, needed to be up early for work. That lingerie wasn't for me. It never was. I threw it in her suitcase. Lawrence sat with me at the kitchen table while we reviewed the divorce petition one final time. "You're sure about this?" he asked. Not because he doubted the decision, but because he's been my friend for 15 years and wanted to make sure I was ready for the finality of it. I've never been more sure of anything. She's going to try to fight the prenup. Let her. You made it bulletproof. He smiled grim but satisfied. That I did. By 2 a.m., everything was done. Her life. Packed and ready to be removed from mine. I took a shower, put on my best suit, made coffee, and went to sit on the porch to wait for sunrise. At 5:30 a.m., I took off my wedding ring and set it on the porch railing. 8 years of marriage, reduced to a thin gold band catching the early morning light. Behind me, 11 suitcases stood like soldiers guarding the fortress of my new life. Through the window, I watch her on the curb, phone pressed to her ear. She's calling someone. Probably Dylan. I wonder if he'll answer. I wonder if he ever planned to be more than her dirty secret, or if she was always just entertainment for him. The phone call doesn't last long. She's staring at her screen now, calling again. Nothing. Her face crumples. She's scrolling frantically through her phone, and I know exactly what she's discovering. Dylan has blocked her on everything: Instagram, Facebook, his phone number. He ghosted her the second things got real, the second her affair stopped being fun, and started having consequences. Men like Dylan don't leave their lives for women like Janet. They just enjoy them and disappear. She tries her debit card next. I can see her on her banking app. The joint account shows 0. She makes a sound, something between a gasp and a sob. Then she tries calling someone else. Her mother, probably. The call connects, but it doesn't last long. Mrs. Richardson hung up on her daughter. I called Janet's parents last night at 9:30 p.m., right after Sam finished changing the locks. I need to tell you something about your daughter, I'd said, and then I told them everything. Showed them the evidence. They were devastated, but not surprised. Apparently, Janet had cheated on her high school boyfriend, too. We hoped she'd grown out of it, her mother had said sadly. Now Janet's trying her friends. I can hear fragments through the window. Ashley, please, I need somewhere to stay. And then silence. Ashley hung up, too. Taylor, her work friend, same thing. Word spreads fast when someone's life implodes publicly. She opens the divorce papers again, reading through them with shaking hands. I know the exact moment she gets to the financial section because she makes this sound. Part scream, part cry, pure devastation. $0. 0 property. 0 claimed anything we built because she violated the contract she barely read. Her phone rings. She answers desperately. Hello? Yes, this is what? No, there must be a mistake. Her boss. Calling about Dylan's sudden resignation and the HR investigation into their affair. Company policy strictly prohibits romantic relationships without disclosure. They both violated it for months. She's going to lose her job, too. I don't see her at all after that morning. She takes her suitcases, calls an Uber, and disappears from my life as completely as if the last 8 years never happened. Lawrence handles all communication through her court-appointed attorney. She can't afford a private one anymore. My life continues. Better than continues. It flourishes. The day after I serve her papers, my firm wins a contract to design a new community center downtown. 3 days later, we're featured in Architectural Digest. By the end of the week, I'm on the cover holding a model of the center, looking like a man who has his life together, because for the first time in months, I actually do. Dr. Simone Washington consults on the community center project. She's a psychology professor at the university, specializing in childhood development and divorce trauma. She wants a space to have counseling rooms, art therapy areas, safe spaces for children dealing with family dissolution. We have lunch to discuss the project. She's brilliant, kind, asks intelligent questions about load distribution and natural lighting. She mentioned she's divorced too. 3 years ago, amicable split with no kids. It gets better, she tells me over coffee. The weight lifts eventually. Does it? I ask, and she nods. You'll know when it happens. One day you'll realize you haven't thought about her in hours, then days, then weeks. And then you'll meet someone who makes you grateful it ended because it made room for them. I'm not ready for that yet. Maybe not for a long time. But sitting across from Simone, talking about building something meaningful from broken foundations, I feel something I haven't felt in months. Hope. The next day, Janet shows up at my office. Monica, my receptionist, calls me immediately. She's in the lobby, says she needs to see you. I'm not available. I say, I'm never available to her. Through the glass wall of my office, I can see her. She's lost weight, dark circles under her eyes, hair unwashed. She looks destroyed. Part of me feels satisfaction. The other part, the part that loved her once, feels nothing but emptiness where sympathy should be. Janet makes one final attempt to rewrite history. She posts on Facebook 3 months after our divorce is finalized. PSA, Vincent Paul is a vindictive, cruel man who destroyed my life over one mistake. He tracked me, trapped me, took everything. He's not the saint everyone thinks he is. Hashtag toxic men, hashtag my truth. The post goes viral. 34,000 shares in 6 hours. Comments flood in, most of them sympathetic to her at first. Tell us what happened. Men are trash. Sue him. Lawrence calls me immediately. Have you seen her Facebook? No. I blocked her on everything. She's trying to destroy your reputation publicly. We need to respond. I think about it for exactly 10 seconds. Then I tell Lawrence to post this from my account. Since Janet Paul has chosen to publicly mischaracterize our divorce, I'm setting the record straight. One mistake was 4 months of documented adultery, 47 hotel visits, 637 deleted texts I recovered, and $18,000 spent on her affair partner using our joint credit card. I begged her to go to marriage counseling 3 months before I filed. She refused, calling me needy for wanting to save our marriage. I protected myself legally using a prenup SHE signed 7 years ago. I'm not vindictive. I'm someone who finally chose himself. All evidence authenticated and available to media outlets. I wish her healing, but I will not be defamed. The response is nuclear. 2.4 million views in 24 hours. The comments destroy her. She cheated for 4 months and he's a villain? The audacity. This is why prenups exist. King behavior. She deletes her posts within hours. But screenshots are everywhere. Her new employer sees it. Her family sees it. Everyone knows. I'm at my father's grave when I hear she's moved back to her hometown. A different state. Starting over. Good. She should. Some things can't be rebuilt in the same place they were destroyed. Dad, I say to the headstone, you told me people would mistake my kindness for weakness. You said when they do, walk away with dignity intact. I touched the cold marble. I finally listened. My phone buzzes. Simone, asking if I'm free for dinner to discuss the community center's grand opening next month. Not a date. Not yet. But maybe someday. I text back yes. Behind me, the city skyline glows in the sunset. A city where I built a firm now worth $12.8 million, where I'm designing spaces that will help broken families heal, where my name means something beyond the man whose wife betrayed him. Janet became irrelevant, and that, I've learned, is the best revenge of all. I drive away from the cemetery, windows down, radio up, wedding ring in a donation box at Goodwill 3 months ago. The rear view mirror shows nothing but road behind me. Forward is all that matters now.